On our recent trip over to Asia, I managed to get 6 people on Starlux business class from LAX to Taipei. And if you know anything about premium cabin award bookings, you know that it's kind of impossible to get 6 people on the same flight because Starlux, for example, typically only releases 1 or 2 business class seats per flight through Alaska Airlines. So how did I manage to get 6 seats on business class on the same flight? Well, the answer is pretty simple, but it requires you to be a little bit more strategic, and it comes down to understanding one key thing about the Alaska Airline program that most people kind of overlook. My name is Max, and I help people maximize their airline miles, hotel points, and credit card points. Remember, hit the like and subscribe button down below, and let's get started. So most people, when they're trying to book business class, they run into the issue of not having enough seats for their entire group. Airlines are always pretty stingy with how many award seats they release, especially for business class. For Starlux specifically, when they release award availability to Alaska Airlines, it's usually just 1 seat. Sometimes they release 2 seats, but that's also still pretty rare. And this creates a big problem if you're traveling as a family or as a group because you can't just book everyone on the same flight. Most people at this point either give up or they just end up booking economy or premium economy or pay cash for business class, which is crazy expensive, and we're all about maximizing our points here and we don't want to really pay for business class. But there's actually a third option that requires a little bit more strategy and a little bit more flexibility, and it all comes down to one key feature of the Alaska Airline mileage program, but you can also apply this to other airline programs as well. So when you're watching this video, just think of the strategy and how you can apply it in your situation, whether it's through Alaska Airlines program or any other airline loyalty program. The great thing about Alaska Airlines is that if you book an award ticket, you can change that award ticket with no fee. $0 to change your flight. And this is true even for partner bookings like booking Starlux through Alaska Airlines. Now, this might not sound like a big deal at first, but when you actually combine that with how Starlux releases award availability, it becomes pretty incredibly powerful. Because here's what I've noticed. Starlux tends to release more award availability to Alaska Airlines last minute. We're talking days or sometimes even weeks before departure, and they'll just randomly drop more business class award seats that you can book through Alaska Airlines. So here's what I did for my family trip to Taiwan and Vietnam. Originally, we needed to get 6 people to Taipei. That's me, Tiffany, my parents, and my in-laws. And when I first started searching for award availability, there was no way we're gonna get everyone on the same flight. So instead of waiting around hoping for 6 seats to magically appear, I booked everyone on separate flights. Tiffany and I were flying out of LAX on 1 flight. My parents were booked on a flight out of Ontario the next day, and my in-laws were on another Ontario flight the day after that. So we're all on 3 separate flights. Now, the great thing about Starlux is that they fly out of both LAX and Ontario, so I had some flexibility on departure cities and flexibility on dates. Everyone was okay on flying different dates, which is key here. And that's the thing with miles and points. If you really want to really want to maximize your points, you need a lot of flexibility. And that means flexibility with dates, flexibility with departure cities, and flexibility with the idea that you might not be able to be all on the same flight. So once everyone was booked, I didn't just forget about my reservation. I kept monitoring Alaska Airlines for Starlux award availability. I checked maybe once or twice a week, just searching different dates around our trip. And then about a week and a half before our departure, a bunch of Starlux award availability opened up on the same flight that Tiffany and I were on. And so we were flying from LAX to Taipei, and a bunch of seats opened up on that same exact flight. And this is where Alaska Airlines free change policy became incredibly valuable. I went to the Alaska Airlines website and changed everyone's ticket into the same exact flight as me and Tiffany. And let me tell you, it was way easier than I expected it to be. Instead of just telling you how easy it is, I'm gonna show you how easy it is to change your award reservation on Alaska Airlines. I'm here on the Alaska Airlines website and I have a reservation pulled up. So over here on the right hand side, it says change flight. I'm going to click on that. And then it takes you directly over to the page that instructs you on how to change your flight. So I'm gonna select both passengers, change this trip, and then change this flight. And so it's Taipei to Los Angeles. It's a Starlux flight. I'm gonna pick a date that has availability. Let's change it to the 17th, an example. Search preference, first and business class, click on continue. It runs a search and then it gives you these options. And it says available award flights for JSX2 here, Taipei to LAX. There's availability. It's gonna charge me 32 cents per person because I booked this a while ago, so maybe like the surcharges or the taxes and fees changed slightly. So the taxes and fees are a little bit more expensive, but typically if there's no changes, then this would say $0 and I can go ahead and select that and then it would change the flight. I don't wanna go ahead and select it right now, but essentially that's how easy it is. It's just go in, change your flight, run a search, and then it allows you to change your flight. Pretty simple, even if it's a partner airline flight. Other airlines will require you to call in and all that stuff. Alaska Airlines makes it super easy. Now you're probably wondering, why does Starlux release award space so last minute? Well, they probably have empty seats or they're just looking to fill those seats. And this is a pattern that I've noticed for several airlines as well. ANA sometimes does this, Japan Airlines sometimes does this. And it's very typical for these airlines to release these last minute seats, especially during off-peak travel season when the plane is going to be relatively pretty light anyways. They'll release that award space to partner airlines like Alaska Airlines, hoping people would use their miles and points to book. And that's part of the strategy, is that continually keep searching for the award availability, and you'll start to notice patterns when it comes to award availability for specific airlines. And this is where understanding award availability trends for specific airlines becomes really valuable. The more you search and book these redemptions, the more you start to see these patterns. And Starlux specifically, I knew they tend to release that award space pretty last minute. So I wasn't surprised about those 6 seats opening up, and I was ready for it. I just wasn't expecting it to be so easy to move everybody from their existing flight over to the same flight through Alaska Airlines. Now, I want to be really clear that this strategy is not easy and it's really not for everyone. You need to have that flexibility, and I mean a lot of flexibility. In my case, we were all flexible on all aspects. The other thing you need is family or friends who understand that they need to be flexible too. My parents and my in-laws are pretty laid back about travel. They're semi-retired, so they have that flexibility, and they trust me in finding good deals, and they know that sometimes that means going where the deal is. They didn't specifically want to go to Taiwan, but that's where the business class deal was, and so they went with it, and that's how we all ended up in Taiwan. We had a great few days in Taiwan, and then we flew over to Vietnam. So that's a strategy. I mean, book everyone on separate flights first, monitor the award availability, and then consolidate everyone onto the same flight when space opens up last minute. It's not perfect, it's not always gonna work, but if you have the flexibility and you're willing to put in a little bit of effort monitoring the award space, you can make some pretty incredible trips happen. And so this is one of the hidden perks of using miles and points, is the ability to cancel and change sometimes with little to no fees. If you had a cash booking, it wouldn't be as easy. So remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below. I'll put some more videos on the screen that'll help you maximize your points even further, different strategies and different redemption options that you can use to really maximize your points. Thanks for watching this far, and I'll see you guys in the next one.